Hey everybody, give me a second. I gotta get the light. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I'm doing okay. How is everybody else doing? Hi Carrie. Hi D-Man 9FP. Hi Baragon. Is there anybody else in? Hi Ross Lynch. Wow. Make sure, if you haven't done it yet, that you've given a like. That's important. That helps other people find me. Oh, that could be. I don't know. I don't know when they send them out. I haven't even started yet, so you're good. The reason that YouTubers urge you guys to give likes to the videos is to the reason we do that is to do the reason that YouTubers ask you guys to like videos is, or to like the lives, is it actually helps the algorithm find people that might be interested in watching the live. So today's live is, well, we're going to be jumping down a rabbit hole. I'm glad you liked it. We are going to be jumping down a rabbit hole on accessibility at AZA establishments. Now, what is the AZA? American Zoos and Aquariums. And they're not limited to just American zoos, because I believe the Toronto Zoo is also part of, well, I sent a notification to you, so that might be what that was. I think the Toronto Zoo might be AZA, and there's a few others in Canada that are also AZA. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We are going to learn about what accessibility is. More importantly, why it's important. We'll talk about some do's and some do nots of service animals at zoos, how you can plan ahead for your visit, and important things to look at on maps. We're going to talk about social stories. I was hoping to have one. I could not find one to print out. And a little bit more. So first off, what is accessibility? Accessibility is the design. Oops, forgot to do that. Is the design of products, services, and environments to be useful by all people, regardless of ability or disability. And I like to focus on I think I do. I don't know if you should, but I don't know. It is about ensuring that all people, regardless of ability, can interact with the information or services that you provide. It's not about disability, it's about ability. Accessibility at AZA zoos and aquariums and why it's important. I don't think it needs to be said, but it's important because everybody should be able to enjoy zoos and aquariums. They're not leaving anyone out. They are trying to include. And I think that's important in today's world. Everybody should be able to enjoy the zoo and the aquarium regardless of ability level. Now, that being said, not everybody can afford to go to the zoo. Zoos are crazy expensive nowadays. But flash photography, no. Flash photography, probably not, because some animals, yeah, the flash can mess them up a little bit. So flash photography, probably not. What are you trying to do, glitter? You know, that's a wonderful name for a that's a really great name. And what are you trying to do? Break your camera? Just asking. No, you shouldn't use flash photography. Hello, everybody. Okay, so next up, service animals. I know my user good. I don't know if you're not from America. You need to type in English. Hello. Service animals. Service animals are not your pets, and they are not emotional support animals. I'm good. How are you? Service animals not typically, service animals are trained to deal with tasks that a person may not be able to do for themselves. Hello, Nikki Coleman 2046. Dogs may retrieve objects for someone. They are there to alert to panic attacks. They can alert. No, service animals are not emotional support animals. They can alert to a seizure before the seizure starts. They can detect blood sugar levels, and They can detect blood sugar levels, most zoos and aquariums. Most zoos are going to be fine with your service animal being there. I suggest, if I don't think anybody in here has service animals, but if you do, it's a really, really good idea to look at a zoo's service animal policy before you visit. That way, if you have questions, you could call the zoo. Most zoos are going to be willing to speak with you and to help you out if there's an issue. You may find out that there are exhibits where you can't take your animals. This is a map of Brookfield Zoo, and these red exhibits are exhibits where you cannot take your animals into. So there are a few. They don't want your dogs and butterflies. Desert's Edge, the Hamill Family Wild Encounters, the Play Zoo, the Tropical Forest, or Tropic World. Nikki Coleman, have you watched my videos? I'm just asking. It's great if you have. When you get to the zoo with your service animal, let the guest representative know that you have a dog. You may find out that, like I mentioned, that some exhibits may not let your dog into it. That might be because your dog might upset the animals that are in the exhibit. Your dog may not work really well in that exhibit. If you come across the animal, you could call ahead. That is okay too. It's not, you calling ahead though is not going to change what exhibits your animals can go into. And things like, so if you were at Brookfield Zoo, things like the giraffe feeding, obviously you wouldn't want to take your dog into that. Wolf Woods, that's a no too, because obvious reasons. So there may be exhibits that you need to plan ahead, right? So some zoos, if you do have a service animal, call ahead. There was one zoo I looked at that said that, hey, if you're there and you don't have somebody to hold your dog, a staff member might be willing to do that. If if you don't see very well, you might be able to get somebody to lead you through an exhibit. So definitely, if you can, call ahead, and plan for these areas that you know you can't take your dog into. If you come across an animal ambassador, that is an ambassador that the zoo has that they work with to keep tame and mellow and all of that fun stuff so that the guests can encounter it and not have issues. Keep your dog at least 6 feet away. That is something not from me. That is from one of the zoos that I checked out. On the flip side, if your dog or your service animal is being aggressive, it's barking, it's growling, it's jumping, it's running at people, it's not housebroken, it's not under control, your animal can be asked to leave the zoo. That's going to happen if it's not being behaved. Also, your animal should be on a leash or a harness at all times. Now, this is also important. Most zoos and aquariums have a policy where caregivers / nurses are free to enter as long as the guest pays. Here is the flip side to that. If your guest or your child, let's say it because they're children, are under the age of 16, they are not eligible for the free personal caregiver discount. So again, if you do have a nurse, or if you know somebody that has a nurse or a caregiver, call ahead to the zoo, find out their policy. Some zoos may be different. Also, some things to keep in mind. Zoo staff, they are not there to lift. They are not there to lift you out of your wheelchair. They cannot provide assistance with medicine, and they cannot help with bathrooming at all. That puts them liable for accidents, and no zoo is going to do that. Now, many zoos and aquariums do offer wheelchairs or electric scooters. A lot of times there is a fee associated with them. Very often, these wheelchairs and scooters are on a first come, first served basis. So if you want one, come early. It's also important to note that you cannot call ahead and set a reservation. They don't accept that. So don't even think about it. You are more than welcome to bring your own wheelchair. However, they must be manual or electrically powered and shouldn't go any faster than 6 miles per hour. They must have 4 wheels. You can't have a child or another person riding on that wheelchair, and they cannot be larger than 36 inches in width or 52 inches in length. I got my shoe clipped by an electric wheelchair. So, and those things are definitely not light. If you are in a situation, or if somebody is in a situation where you have to have a food or beverage for medical purposes or dietary needs, you can bring a small cooler. Ooh. Ouch. I don't know why that one was... You can bring those items with you in a cooler. They will be looked at and examined and then tagged and then brought into the zoo. Some zoos even have an allergy menu that you can look at before you arrive at the zoo, and you can see what they serve, what allergies those items might have, and if there is a risk of allergies from those items. So that's another thing you can do. Another thing, believe me, this is so important, because I used to work with kids with special needs and bathrooms where you can take larger kids into are important. So that's another thing. Another really important thing to know where the bathrooms are at. And on this map, they are clearly marked. What they don't tell you necessarily is that some bathrooms are such that you can take adults into, if need be, or large children. I suggest printing out the maps ahead of time and visiting a staff member when you arrive at the zoo, even if you have your tickets already paid for, and have them circle on the map if you do need an adult, the larger bathrooms or large children or adult changing areas. Have them circle on the map. Some zoos also offer sensory areas, quiet areas. They may offer sensory bags, which contain fidget tools, noise-canceling headphones, and other resources at no cost to you. The one thing you may have to do is you may have to leave your IDs at checkout, at the ticket booth. You might also be able to get weighted lap pads. They may offer quiet zones, places where you can go to get away from the noise. This is at the Cleveland Metro Parks Zoo. And they have those marked too. This is their map, and it has information like head quiet zones. Those are places where you can go if you have a child or an adult who gets sensory overload, they're overly stimulated. You can go there and have a quiet few moments of getting away from it. They have bathrooms that are marked on the map that are handicap accessible. Those are always a good thing to have. Your guest services. These are the guys that are going to do everything they can to help you out. They also have areas where, of course, your animal cannot get into. Not as many as other places, but it's really cool. Those are things that you need to be aware of. You can get social stories. Some of them you have to get through social stories help to prepare somebody who might need who might need that help, who just might need prepared for the visit to the zoo. Shoebill storks. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you I'm going to read you a social story. This is for the giant panda at the National Zoo. There are many animals to visit at the zoo. Today, I'm going to visit the giant pandas. And one of the things they do is they keep it short and they show you pictures related to what they're talking about. When I get to the zoo, I will wait in line for my turn to go in. I will show my ticket to the staff member. Sometimes being out in public and being in lines can be stressful. I'm visiting the Asia Trail. I will enter the trail across from the visitor center. The giant panda exhibit is on Asia Trail. I will follow the signs telling me which way to go. If I need help or have a question, I can find a staff member or volunteer. They will be happy to help me. And for that one, they have pictures of a volunteer, a police officer, and a worker. There are a lot of people that want to see giant pandas. I may have to wait in line. to see them. I will wait patiently for my turn. While I am at the zoo, I may see signs and barriers telling me how to stay in the right areas and be safe. I will have an opportunity to see other animals along the Asia Trail on my way to see the pandas. I may see places where I can sit and take a break along the way. I will see many animal sculptures of Asian animals along the pathway. I may touch them, but I will be careful as they may be hot from the sun. It can sometimes be hard to find the pandas because there are so many places for them to hide. Okay, so you get the idea. These are not meant to be read out loud like I'm doing now. You want to do them in a soft voice. So that you're not yelling and screaming to the person, because that would not go over well either. Also, some zoos have special days set aside so that your child, maybe even a veteran who has PTSD, can come in, take advantage of the zoo at a quieter time. The lights might be toned down a little bit. So that's what I have on accessibility. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cheat for y'all. Since you guys are talking about shoe bills, I don't know how old this information is. No. We got to get that us out of there. Huh. My favorite website is not. There it goes. Emergency exits, you mean in general? So according to this, according to my favorite website, there's only 2 zoos in the, well, actually, one is a zoo, the other isn't. Only 2 places in North America where you can see shoebill storks. Now, I don't know how accurate this is, but Dallas World Aquarium and Tampa Zoo are the only 2 places. I don't know when this website was last updated. So, Lincoln Park has, or Brookfield Zoo has 2 exits. They have a north parking lot and a south parking lot. North and south. I don't know as far as buildings go. That I don't know. Lincoln Park Zoo is amazing. It's one of my favorite zoos. I just don't want to be there today. But not going to get into why. But yeah. I know it's the name of a band. I at least know that much. Tonight, whilst I'm thinking about it, we are doing cryptids. Cryptids and monsters. However, we are not talking about ghosts or other metaphysical beings. So no ghost, no other metaphysical beings. That'll be at 6 p.m. And I might do it. I may not have a script that I follow. It may be one of those things where you guys start talking about a cryptid and I look it up and we discuss facts. I am currently working on yeah, it could. I suppose. Because some of those oh my goodness. So that is something I'm looking forward to because I occasionally like to take a dive into cryptids. The next story for the spooky channel, I'm working on the actual story itself, typing it up, getting all of that stuff ready. Hopefully gonna have that up before Monday. And I have the next story, I'm working on it. Tonight's story, or the story that is I'm working on typing up, is A Star Is Gone. It's a fun little tale. And the next one, oh my gosh, I don't remember. Yes. He will not be making an appearance tonight. We might yet do something for Halloween, and then he'll make an appearance. See, I knew that was going to happen. I knew people would want him. I've never heard of it. I have a Halloween party tonight. And guess who I'm going as? No, I'm going as my friend. And even better, there's going to be little kids there. We'll see how many of my great nieces and nephews end up crying. Hopefully, none. That would be so bad. Because some of them are really little. I have. Oh, maybe it is only one baby. I guess it's just one baby. I don't like. There's going to be other people dressed up, so for those of you who, I'm not worried about the people that are live right now because you guys know, but this thing is fake. Maybe the older ones, but not the babies. And by babies, I mean nobody under the age of 6 should be scared. An urban legend is a humorous or horrific story or piece of information circulated as though true, especially one to involve someone vaguely related to or known to the teller. Cryptids are an animal or creature whose existence is rumored but has not been scientifically proven. A cryptid is a terrestrial, well, not necessarily terrestrial, but a cryptid is a possible biological animal that could possibly exist, but is not proven to exist. Yeah, we're going to avoid other dimension stuff just because, yeah. Yes. Well, and so are gorillas were cryptid. I would agree with that. But that is not a cryptid. That would be possibly an urban legend. That's a ghost story. Man, I need a haircut. Just just so you guys are aware, I'm probably going to be getting a haircut this week. I think it needs it. But yes, that is a potential ghost story. That would be an urban legend. Um, I don't know if werewolves are considered cryptids or not. Maybe. Yeti, Bigfoot would definitely be cryptids. I haven't heard those stories from Chicago, but I've heard them from New York. I've heard that from New York City. Right. I mean, I don't know how cold it gets in the sewers. Man, it is. We actually had a turkey vulture in our neighborhood today. It's always cool to see them on the ground. Not the prettiest birds, but so cool. Not really a cryptid though. The Ninja Turtles. Are there cryptids that are spiders? Yeah, but if you don't know, that it was just a story, you might buy into it. Think of all the fake news, and I don't mean to get political, I'm not being political, but think of the the memes or the pictures that come across YouTube, like so and so died today, and it'll have um a picture of a celebrity, and you're like, did they? And they really haven't. And how many people potentially buy into it? Um, I think I missed somebody's question. Spider cryptids. Yes. Ross Lynch fan. There are cryptids that are spiders. Um, there there are spiders who will take small fish. Um, yes and no on spiders that eat birds. One spider comes from, I believe it's Africa. Um, there are supposedly videos of this creature crossing the road. There is old spider legs. It might have possibly been a regular wild horse that had a twin that did not develop fully. According to witness report, he was traveling through the forest when he heard a quick and numerous galloping noise. It was then that he caught a clear sight of a horse that had 8 legs positioned like a spider's legs. He got on his horse and chased the beast, but he could not keep up and soon lost sight of it. Many have heard it since, but never seen it again. It is a fearsome creature sighted in America during the 19th century by a lumberjack. So yes, there are definitely spider cryptids. No. South America. Goliath bird eaters are from South America. Crab people, that is a good movie. Or was that Crab Invasion of the Crab Monsters? I don't know. South Park, but was probably made before South Park. Oh. Oh, is that where they're from? The crab people are from South Park? Yeah, the movie that I mentioned, The Crab Monsters, was from the 1950s, 1960s, maybe? He's more, what's the word? A tall tale than an actual cryptid. Yeah, that would be a tall tale. Yes, that is a legend too. There are supposedly dinos. Um, yes, they are actually a cryptid. I really need a softer chair. Well, if they're too deformed, they're not going to survive. So, doesn't mean that they're not genetically different. Exactly, a cryptid. I have no idea. I probably won't go any longer than 8. No, my party is before it. I'm going to go for a couple of hours and then come home. That would be kind of scary. Yeah, my party starts at 4. I don't know if I'll go back afterwards, but but what's interesting? Yeah, only he won't be the Boneyard Scribe necessarily. The only problem with that D-Man 9FP is manatees are a well, no, they're not. I was going to say manatees are a North American creature, but that's not true. Not necessarily. The Greeks might have seen other stuff that they thought were sirens or mermaids. I believe there is a Mediterranean monk seal, if I remember right. Columbus may have reported seeing mermaids. Yeah. People report a lot of weird things. I'm pretty sure they're fake. I started my spooky movie um journey last night. I watched The Horror of Dracula, I think is what it was. Bye, D-Man. Okay, guys. We've been at this for an hour and 8 minutes. I am going to go because I have stuff to finish up on myself. Manatees. That's in, well, I don't know about that, but um definitely in the Odyssey. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go. I will talk to you later. Bye, everybody.